Hello everyone, we're going to be setting off on our hike tomorrow. We're going to be hiking the Beacons Way. It's a 100-mile hike that runs the length of the Brecon Beacons National Park, and this is everything that I'm going to be taking. So I'm going to run through everything that I've got, and I'm going to show you how I fit it into this 48-litre backpack. The backpack I'm taking is the Osprey Kestrel 48-litre. I've had this a few years now, used it on a lot of hikes, and it's probably my favourite backpack. It's just over 2 kilo in weight. I've got lighter packs in the house, but I like this one for the fact it's got a lot of pockets and compartments on there, and it's also a very comfy fit on my back. So on the top lid there's a zip there with a compartment. On the inside of the lid I've got this mesh pocket. In there there's a hook. I keep my car keys on there, and also my box, my memory card, keep them clipped on. Zip it up so they are safe. On the sides, if you unzip that, there's a deep pocket inside. I keep my tent poles in there so they're safe, no chance of losing them. And on the opposite side there's another zip. With this one you can reach right inside the pack for quick access. On the sides there you've got elasticated pouches. Keep your water bottles in there. There's a large elasticated pocket on the front. I've added these, it's a bit of paracord with some hooks. Anything I keep in there I don't want to lose, I keep them clipped on. On the bottom, in this compartment, it's designed for your sleeping bag. I keep my sleeping system in there. On the very bottom, if you unzip this, in there is a rain cover to cover the pack. And on the hip belt, there's a zipped pocket there. That's where I like to keep my munchies. One on either side. I keep my hat and some other small belongings in there. On the back, it's got a ventilation system, and this is padded. I find that very comfy. If you undo this Velcro, that's designed for your camel bag. And on the shoulder straps there, I've added those pouches myself, but you can adjust those shoulder straps to fit your back size. So overall it's a great little pack. A sleeping bag I'm taking, it's a great little sleeping bag this. It's the Vango Cobra 600. It's a 4-season down sleeping bag. Comfort levels down to -5, weighs 1,100 grams. My sleeping pad is my good old trusty Climate Inertia. I've had this around 10 years now. It's a bit battered, got a few puncture holes in there I've repaired. I used this years ago to do Land's End and John O'Groats. So I spent 3 months sleeping on there. I've had some good night's sleep on there. That weighs 400 grams. My pillow, inflatable Trekology Pillow, 100 grams in weight. Folds up nice and small. So that's my sleep system, 1.6 kilo. I put Toby then. I've showed you this before, but for people who haven't seen it, I've got an old sleeping bag from the house. I've cut it in half, stitched it together so it's just the right size for him. So that's Toby's sleeping bag. He's got a fleece jacket then for the nights, bit of extra warmth for him. And I've also got a reflective pad that I've cut in half, so I can use this as a mat in the porch. I can also use it as a bum mat, and in the nights then that will become Toby's insulation from the ground, keep him warm. I'm taking the MSR Hubba NX2 tent. I love this tent, great little tent. I take on a lot of my hikes. It's, in total I think it's 1.7 kilo in weight. Again, I've got lighter in the house. I was thinking of taking a big Agnes, but I prefer this for a few reasons. The fact that there's 2 entrances and a porch on either side. So it's great when I got Toby with me. He can go in from the other side, stops him punching my airbed, and I can go in from this side. Use this a lot in the summer when Marianne comes on the hikes with us. There's enough room for the 2 of us inside, a kit in the other porch, and Toby sleeps in our porch there. It's a nice spacious tent. Clothing I'm taking 1 spare pair of trousers. I got these very lightweight Rab trousers there. Taking just 1 spare t-shirt, Burghouse t-shirt, nice and light. Everything I take dries out really quick if I get wet. I've got my Helly Hansen as a base layer. Just one spare pair of boxers, one spare pair of socks. I've got the Burghouse hooded fleece, again nice and lightweight. It's quite warm and insulated. And my main source of warmth then is my Burghouse Downs jacket. I've had this for years. It's a great coat, keeps me nice and warm. I'll be keeping that double bagged, make sure it doesn't get wet. For loafing around in the night then, I've got a pair of running trousers, bit of comfort, I can maybe wear them to bed. And these are my slippers. These are the Mylar Barefoot, super lightweight. And inside those, a pair of merino wool socks for in the night. But before I put my feet in them, in there, I have a bag of talcum powder. Rather than take a bottle of talc, you waste a lot of it when you put it on your feet. I just dip my feet in there before I put my socks on. And also inside there, I've got 2 plastic bags. The ground's very wet at the moment. If I have to get outside of the tent and pop my feet inside those bags, keep these dry. And I've also got a pair of shorts in case I fancy doing a bit of wild swimming or I need a bath in the river. My hat, love this hat, I've had this years. It's my buff fleece hat, nice and lightweight, nice and warm. And I've also got a buff headscarf, great little things these, great for in the summer in the sun, keep the sun off your head. Use as a neck warmer, or you can put it over your head if you're getting bitten by midges. My waterproofs, these are the Montane Minimus Nanos. So it's a jacket and the leggings there. Super lightweight. I haven't had much use out of these, to be honest. I've only tested them out on short walks, albeit in torrential rain, and I came back bone dry. It's a breathable material. It looks nothing. They've got great reviews. It's what all the runners wear. So the jacket there is just 110 grams. Don't even know you've got it in your pack. And these are the trousers. With all the rain we've been having, I may be taking a gamble taking these. Maybe I should be taking my Gore-Tex. But if I get wet, I'll just suck it up. Those are the trousers there. Those are 100 grams. So that's my clothing. All my clothes then, they all get stuffed into stuff sacks. Keep them waterproof. I'm sure they stay dry on the hike. With this one, my down coat and a double bag, that one. Like I said, that's my most important piece of warm clothing. Same with all my warm kit, my base layers and my fleece. Stuff them into here, no need to fold them up. Squash them all down nice and tight. I like to take a bright bag like this for a reason. If ever you end up in trouble on a mountain, I don't know, broken leg or whatever, mountain rescue have to come and find you, you can maybe attach this to one of your walking poles or a tent pole. Mountain rescue got a better chance of seeing you. Pack my sleeping system. I'm just going to stuff my sleeping bag into this stuff sack. keep the hooded end at the top so all the air squeezes out. I've already let the air out of this, out of the airbed. Just going to fold that up. Slide that inside. And squeeze the pillow in. And I need to squeeze all the air out. Kneel on it. Squeeze the air out from one end to the open end. That's my sleep system, only one stuff sack. Same then with Toby's sleep system. Bottom end first. Roll his coat up. Squash that down. Put all that air out of there. And that's Toby's sleep system, nice and compact. The only downside to putting everything inside stuff sacks is when you pack it into the backpack, you lose a lot of room. You get a lot of little gaps in places. If this was a summer now and I knew I was going to have a dry spell for the week, for the hike, I would just stuff everything inside one rucksack liner. That way you're using up all the room. But with all the rain we've been having, I can't take any chances with kit getting wet. I'm just packing the tent away. So with the poles, I keep them separate. I don't put them into the tent. I do keep the tent pegs into the poles. And those will go in that side pocket on my backpack. So what I've done, I folded the outer, the width of my backpack, and then doing the same with the inner. And I roll this up nice and tight. And that way it should fit in nice and snug. That will fit now, nice and snug in the bottom of my backpack. My cooking system inside this mesh bag. It's my windshield, Optimus windshield, that clips onto my stove. And inside this mesh bag is my titanium Torx pot, 750ml, and inside there I keep my little stand for my gas canister for the stove. I keep a little bit of Scotch-Brite sponge for cleaning. My stove is the MSR Pocket Rocket 2. Great little stove, that's never let me down. Inside there then, got my gas canister. And I keep a little bit of cloth in the bottom just to stop metal to metal. So all of that fits in there. Oh, and I've also got this little bag with some bits and bobs in. That's come out of there as well. So these are little tablets, I forget the name for them. There's 4 of them in there. I have showed them before. You just add a splash of water and they expand and they turn into, it's like a dishcloth. So I can use those for cleaning any pots and pans. Salt and pepper. Little mini lighter. I keep some spare matches and a striker, waterproofed, just in case my lighter breaks or I lose it. I've got a little tin opener, little army issue style tin opener. And in there is a bottle of fairy liquid for cleaning pots and pans. I know it looks minute, but all you need is a little dab just to get your pots clean. And here's my titanium spoke. Nice long handle for reaching into my bags, my dehydrated meals. In this mesh bag then I've got my titanium cup. I've also got a spare spoon in there. Just saves me looking for that one when I want to make a quick cup of coffee on the go. And it's always handy just in case you lose your spoon. Inside this little cup, I've got a bag of hot chocolate powder. And I've made up a bag of coffee and milk and sugar. Enough coffee in there for the week. Water bottles, I use these 1 litre water bottles. Bottles of water you buy in Tesco. When they're empty, they're nice and lightweight. I've got this little Solomon like bladder bag that runners use. That fits into my pouch on my strap. I drink water on the go. My water filter is the soya squeeze. This happens to fit on this thread as well. It's the same size thread, so I can maybe just fill that bottle from a river and drink straight from there if need be. These do come with a little bag, but they're not much use. It's a little screw off top and they're difficult to fill up. So I bought one of these bladder bags that fits onto the soya squeeze. Not sure it's pronounced knock or knock. That's a 3 litre bladder bag, and I've got a bit of paracord. I can hang that on a nearby object, fill my water bottles. Just makes it a bit easier. Believe it or not, these are more expensive than those water filters. This is my food bag. Not really neatly packed at the moment because I just stuffed everything back in there. But I'll just unpack all this lot and show you what I've got. When I was ordering dehydrated meals for this hike, I realised it's actually cheaper to buy a food dehydrator than it is to buy a week's worth of food. So that's what I've done. Something I've been meaning to do for years, and I finally got around to it. So I won't go into it in too much detail now, as time's cracking on. But I've made a few different recipes myself. In here is a 6-bean chilli and rice. The original weight before I dehydrated it was 513 grams, and once it was dehydrated it's now 136 grams. I've also got written on there how much water I need to add to rehydrate it, 377 ml, and I've got that by subtracting the dried weight from the original weight. And this one here, that's pasta and tomato sauce dish. I've got a fried rice dish in there. For breakfast, I've got chocolate flavour protein porridge. I've ordered that off the same gym site I get my protein powder off. I put some dried fruit in there and I vacuum sealed it. All I need to do with that now, add 200 ml of water in there, hot water, and that's my breakfast. In this one then, I've got protein packed granola mix. And what I've done, I've added some instant milk powder in there. So it's just a case of adding some water, and that's another bit of breakfast there. I've also brought, I had these lying around the house from a high class here. That's a Moroccan meal that's made by Tent Meals, and an Italian inspired meal there. I can maybe eat them in a day on the hike if I'm getting hungry. With the meals, when you add hot water to them, they can take 10 to 20 minutes to rehydrate. So I've got this thermal pocket, add water to them, pop them in there, that'll keep the food warm. The only thing with dehydrated meals, you can't dehydrate anything fatty. That includes cooking oils, so I couldn't put much cooking oil in the meals, but that obviously takes a lot of calories out. So what I've done, I filled this bottle with olive oil, and in each meal then I'll pour some of that in there to give me the calories I need. In there I've got a bottle of jalapeno Tabasco sauce, transferred it from the glass bottle into a plastic one to make it a bit lighter. In there, you can't see it very well, there's a plastic bag with a cake in there, and that there is instant custard powder. So I can just take the bag of cake out, add water to the custard, mix it up, and pop the cake back in there. That's my dessert for the evenings. Food for on the go. This will be in my side pouch. My high energy foods. It used to be Haribos and Kindle milk cakes once upon a time, but I've got dates and a bag of figs and another little protein bar in there. So that's my food for on the march. When I take Toby on his hikes, one of the heaviest things I have to carry is his dog food. So for this hike, what I've done, I've made dog food for him and I've dehydrated it. It's quite easy to do. I went on YouTube, watched a few videos. All I've done, I've gone to the butcher's, bought some good quality minced beef, a few other bits of meat, and I've got brown rice, sweet potatoes, corn, carrots, even a bit of gravy. I've cooked it all, mixed it all together, and spent about, I think it took 24 hours to dehydrate. So I split it into 2 bags, but overall, before I dried it, that weighed 4.3 kilo, and it now weighs 720 grams. And to rehydrate it, I've got this collapsible bowl for him. Just a case of filling the bowl halfway, add in some water, pop the lid on, and leave it to dehydrate. And he's also got this little collapsible bowl as well for his drinking water. Toby's done a taste test on that and he loves it. So there's maybe around 5 or 6 meals in there for him. And I'm not going to carry it all, I'm going to split them in half. The same with my food there. I've got another bag with that same amount of food in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it at the Story Arms, which is a halfway point on the Beacon's Way, and I'll collect that halfway for the hike. My luxury item for this hike, it was going to be my titanium hip flask with a little drop of whiskey in there. But an old workmate of mine, Gary Conley, from my Jaguar Land Rover days, he's been watching my videos, he knows I like a little tipple. There he kindly sent me a box of whiskey. So it's a box of 10 sachets like this, a selection of different whiskies from around the world, and they're really good quality. So I'm going to take these 2 on the trail with me. This one is Deanston. This is a single malt Scotch whiskey, and it's a Dragon's Milk Stout cask finish, 50%, sounds really good. And this one then is Waterford. That's an Irish single malt, and that's also 50%. They also come with these little cards. It's got a load of information on it, tells you everything you need to know about the whiskey, the distillery it comes from, etc. So brilliant stuff, guys, really appreciate it, thank you very much. So my luxury item now is going to be my little whiskey glass. I'm going to take that with me. It would be wrong to pour a whiskey as good as that into a metal cup. So this is my toilet kit. Got my little shovel for digging a little poo hole. In there, toilet paper, wipes and plastic bags. Won't be leaving none of that behind, that'll be going with me. Bag it and get rid. Got a bag of wet wipes there. This is my little pee bottle for an tent in the night. I know that sounds a little bit gross, but if I'm camping on top of a mountain and I wake up in the middle of the night needing a pee and it's sideways rain outside, I think I'd rather roll over and pee in there than go outside and get wet. This bag contains my wash and shaving kit and my towel. So that's my Sea to Summit Airlight towel. Big enough to fit around my waist, very lightweight, dries very quick, gets the water off me, does the job. And then I've also got a razor. Probably wondering why I take a razor on a hike. Trust me, I like to have a scrape, keeps me feeling fresh. Little folding toothbrush. Mirror. Bar of soap. Nail clippers. Toothpaste. And a little dental floss toothpick. This bag contains bits and bobs that may come in useful on a hike. That's Toby's dog lead. It's just paracord attached to a lightweight carabiner, small enough to keep in my pocket. And this little pouch in there, I've just got some tin foil folded up. I can use that to put food on. I'm not taking plates or anything. And I've got these little small lightweight waterproof bags. If a tent gets wet and I need to split it in 2 to keep the inner dry, I can use those bags for that purpose. Got a knife, little small lightweight carabiner, microfiber flannel for wiping any water, moisture off a tent, bit of paracord, often comes in handy for something. I've got a spare lighter. In here I carry a spare stove. It's a little BRS stove. I've had a stove stop working on me before on a hike. No stove, no hot food, so I carry this with me, weighs just 25 grams. In there is a puncture repair kit for my airbed. You may have seen the video I done where I showed how to fix a punctured airbed. I'll just quickly explain. What you need to do is pump the airbed up, get a squirty bottle with soapy water, spray it. If you spray where the puncture is, it should start bubbling. You can dry it, put a patch on it, get it fixed. So what I've done, I've taken a lid off one of these bottles. I've had a pin, I've heated it up on the stove, and I've punctured loads of little holes in there to hopefully get that spray effect. And in there I've got some fairy liquid, so if I do get a puncture, I'll just add that in there, put this lid on, shake it up, spray the airbed, and if I do find a puncture, I've got these little patches to repair it. May work, may not, but it's best to try. This bag contains my first aid kit and a few other bits. So that's my first aid kit. I've got a small bandage in there, a few plasters, a few antiseptic wipes. I've got some ibuprofen, paracetamol, comp beads for blisters, and I've got a needle and cotton in there. Needle and cotton come in handy for either sewing tears in your clothes, but it can also come in handy for draining your blisters if you get blisters. And on the outside, I've got some zinc oxide tape wrapped around there. I've got some smidge to keep the creepy crawlies away, and some afterbite in case I do get bitten. Small pair of tweezers, and these those are for tick removal. And I've also got my little lightweight Osprey wallet in there. Let's keep a bit of cash, a couple of cards, and there's this little card in there. That's for tick removal as well. I'll just quickly show you what electrical kit I'm taking. I've got two 10,000 milliamp Anker power banks. This is a 20 watt, takes up to 5 hours of charge. And this is the Anker Nano. This is a 30 watt, takes just 90 minutes of charge. Comes with a USB-C lead attached. And also on the front there, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a display there to show the charging time. The reason I take two 10,000 milliamps instead of one 20,000 milliamp, reason being, you can plug these both in at the same time, less charging time, less hanging around. I've got this plug for charging. I've got this rechargeable lamp for lighting up the tent. Got my little petrol headlamp. I've got this bag of charging cables in. This one has got 3 USB-C adapters in the end, charge 3 items at once. I've got this little box, keep my little memory cards in there, waterproof and safe. Clip that on the inside of my backpack. The drone I'm taking is a DJI Mini 2, great little drone, just 249 grams in weight. One spare battery, the control panel, and in there some spare propellers. This is what I do all my filming on. It's a GoPro Hero 12, and this is a creator edition. So this frame clips onto the outside of the GoPro. It's got a video light and a microphone, and if you take that off, then the GoPro itself is waterproof. I use a V-rig tripod. I've got 4 spare batteries for it and a charging dock. Just in case the GoPro stops working, I take this. It's a phone mount that fits onto the tripod. I can use the phone for filming. And this is a GoPro Vultra. It's a chargeable. Gives it an extra 5 hours battery life if you're shooting in 4K, and it also doubles up as a tripod. Maps for this hike, I'm old school with maps. I like an OS map and a compass, but the last few years I have been using the OS Ordnance Survey Maps app, and I think it's great. I think it's $34.99 a year, on offer at the moment, $24.99. And with that you get all the Ordnance Survey maps of the UK, 1 in 50 and 1 in 25,000, so it's a pretty good deal. And you can plot your routes out on there and download them, which is what I've done. I went on the computer the other night, mapped out the whole 100 miles of the Beacons Way. I've downloaded it and it's on my phone, good and go. But you can't rely on technology alone. If my phone crashes, as a backup, what I've done, once I mapped the route out, I printed it out and I've waterproofed it. That's 7 sheets of A4 paper, and that red line there, that's the Beacons Way. If you was to take maps on this hike, you'd need 3 Land Ranger maps or 3 OL maps, and they're quite big and bulky and obviously a bit weighty. So that there is a much better option. I could just slide that in the back of my pack. I'm going to pack all this kit away now, and I'm going to talk about weight distribution, how you distribute the weight in the pack so it's not pulling back on you and it's not top heavy. When I weighed the base weight of this pack the other night, it was 11.5 kilo. If you don't know what base weight is, that's the weight of everything I'm carrying, all the kit I'm carrying, not including food or water or gas. Stuff will get used up on a trail, even though I left my gas in when I weighed it. Once I'd put food and water in then, and my filming equipment, it went up to 17 kilo or 17.5 kilo. I know one of those goes worrying too much about the weight. Right, let's get everything packed away. So in the bottom compartment of my backpack, I want my mid-weight items. And also items I'm not going to use until I unpack in the night. So that's going to be my sleeping system. My Mylar shoes. and my down jacket. Squash that down. On the front of the pack, I want my lightest equipment, so it's not pulling away from me. And again, also equipment I'm not going to be using until I unpack in the night. So that's going to be my tent, minus the poles. And on the back, I want my heaviest kit, so it's perched up against my pack, so that's not pulling the pack away from me. So that's going to be my food. My cooking equipment. With my cooking equipment, that's going to go up against the back, and I'm going to have it on this side of the pack. That way then, if I want to stop for a brew, I can just unzip that and I got quick access to my stove. Toby's food can squash in there as well, up against the back. When you've got stuff like your cooking gear at the back, you want to make sure it's not digging in, make sure it's comfy before you set off. So my heavier electrical kit, that will go in the back as well. All that goes in Ziploc bags, can't risk our getting wet. And another piece of my lightest kit to go in the front is Toby's sleeping bag and his coat. And more light kit on top towards the front. Some of my warm gear, my base layers and my fleece. It also means I can get to it quickly if I get cold and I need to put warm clothing on. And some more warm gear there. Once everything's packed inside, do this clip up, pull it tight, everything's nice and secure. My thermal pocket then, that sits nicely on top, and it also protects anything inside when I close the lid. And this is my rucksack liner. I usually have all the kit packed in there as well, but unbelievably we've been forecast a dry day tomorrow. It's showing sunshine, so I'm going to rely on all the kit individually waterproofed for now, and the outside rain cover. And if we forecast rain then for the next day, I'll use that. I'll pack everything into there as well, just make sure everything's dry. In this side pocket is where I put my tent poles. Bit of a tight squeeze. Ideally I should have put them in first. It's easier to fit them in. I put them in at an angle, and that leaves room at the back then for my water bottle when I put it in the elasticated pouch. And also in there I keep my shovel. Still enough room in there, some smaller items if need be. That's my tent poles, nice and secure. Water bottles go in the side pouches. Again, pushed up against the back of the pack, so you haven't got that weight pulling away from you. In there, keep my Sawyer squeeze, my water filter for quick access. And I clip it onto this carabiner to make sure I don't lose it. And rather than have two water bottles on one side of the pack, distribute the weight evenly, fit this one onto the other side, again at the back of the pack. My front pouch, I'm putting my waterproofs. I don't put these in the waterproof bags, reason being if it's raining they'll be going on. Clip those on there. So that's also quick access. If it starts raining, I can just get them out. Toby's water bowl, that goes in there, that's nice and light. This is all light kit again to make sure it's not pulling away from me. And there's a little collapsible bowl. So anything I need out of there now, I can just reach in and grab it. In my side pockets goes my munchies for on the march. A couple of protein bars. And then the other one, keep my beanie and my headscarf and toilet paper and poo bags, just in case Toby goes to the toilet and I have to pick it up there and then. In this top lid, I want lighter items. So in the inner, that's my little box, my memory cards, keep those safe. Some wet wipes, my pee bottle, my lightweight whiskey, my wash and shave kit. I'll do that lid up now before I pack the top lid. So I've got my lighter electrical kit, my lamp and my drone, and my petrol, little bag of bits and bobs there, and my first aid kit for quick access. And I'm also going to squeeze on top, that's my little whiskey glass. These little pouches, I've fixed these on myself. I've bought them off a running site, or OMM, and I've just attached them there with Velcro straps. So in there goes my water bottle for drinking on the march. I just fix that over, stop it falling out. I don't know if I'll be needing these. My sunglasses fit in there. And this compartment there, which is designed for the camel bag, that's where my maps are going. This pad, I just strap this to the bottom of the pack. There we go, all packed. Like I said, it's a tight fit, but everything's in there. If ever I find I haven't got enough room, I can always take this pad off, attach it to the side, and I can take the tent out of the pack and I can fix a tent to the bottom on the outside. So me and Toby will be setting off tomorrow on the Beacons Way. I hope you found the video helpful. I'm going to put links up in the description of all the kit I'm taking. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll try to answer them. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you on the Beacons Way. Cheers, guys.